All right, and now I can actually share my screen now that I've got all the things going. All right, so I get this out of the way. Yay, all right, great. And I'm gonna share PowerPoint, share. Okay, awesome. Hey guys, welcome, welcome. Okay, so I've got Facebook going, I've got Zoom going. We're gonna get started in just a couple minutes. Tonight, we're gonna talk about the 7 questions to ask before purchasing any training course, whether it's online or in person. And so we've got people joining us on Zoom. We've got people who are joining us on Facebook, both on the page and in the group. So what I'd love to know, if you're here live, can you let me know that you're live? Okay, especially on Facebook, because I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. I know Zoom can hear me, and I want to thank Darlene for letting me know that. That is so, so helpful. I'd love for you to put in the chat wherever you're watching. I want to know 3 things you're grateful for tonight. Okay, what are 3 things that you are grateful for tonight? Because let me tell you, today was a day. Today was a day in our house. Eric got sick. My son, who's 4, got sick at like 10:30 this morning, super high fever. Like the first time we took it, it said it was 105. And I thought, oh my goodness, okay. And so called the doctor. The doctor's like, okay, get him in. If you can't get his fever down, you guys take him to the emergency room. We got his fever down with a bath. But it was just been a crazy day between doctors. So today I am thankful my son does not have COVID. I'm thankful his fever is going down. And I am so thankful that Jeff and I were here to be with him, to just be there for him. There were times he was just miserable today. And so, you know, I'm so, so grateful for that today. So I'd love to know what you're grateful for. So Darlene said, an incredible daughter who teaches me things every day, a wonderful husband who works hard and makes things happen, and a job that can pay the bills. That's awesome. That is so good. So I'd love for you guys to share in the chat as we're getting started. So tonight we are going to discuss, and I think that this is really important because there's so many courses out there, but tonight we're going to talk about the 7 questions to ask before you purchase an online training course. And as we're going through this, I am going to give you our answers. Okay, so you can kind of see how we match up with other courses. It's really important that you ask these questions, so you have a complete idea of what all's going on, okay, and what you're really buying when you purchase a course. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to go through really quick, and then if you guys have questions about courses in general, about what we're doing, you know, feel free to ask, and my team is watching the comments to make sure that I get those questions. All right, so let's get started. So first of all, before we really get into it, my name is Kristen Ingram. I am the CEO of Ingram Digital Media. I am the founder of Bookkeeper Training School. I am also a certified public accountant. I am a QuickBooks certified pro advisor. I am a former college professor. I have a master's degree in accounting and taxation. And I taught in higher ed, both undergrad and graduate courses for over 13 years. I have been married to my husband, Jeff, for over 20 years. We have a 4-year-old son together named Eric. He's kind of our miracle baby. We'd given up on having kids, and he arrived. So we are super fortunate to be living the life that we live. And my mission is to help moms start to write their own rules about what they want their lives to look like. I know right now it really feels like there is so much that is out of our control. And so my goal is to help you take back that control, write your own rules, and create the type of life that you want to have. And that's something that we have done, that Jeff and I have been really, really fortunate to be able to do in our lives. And so I want to help other people do that as well. Okay, So hopefully you guys can all see my slides. Let's go to, let's get started. So there's so many courses out there. I'm sure you guys are seeing all the ads. I know my students in Bookkeeper Training School are always telling me, you know, that they're getting hit up for ads for other things that they should be purchasing. And so I want to make sure that you're picking the right courses for you. And so here are 7 questions that I'm going to run through real quick that you need to be asking. Okay, and make sure that you have the information for. Okay, so the first question is, how much will you make per hour if you start this business? And I know that a lot of courses, you know, they're going to say, you know, I can't make income claims. It's going to vary based off of where you are and blah, blah, blah. Make sure that you get a clear answer to this question, because I will tell you that if you follow my plan, if you buy Bookkeeper Training School, if you follow my plan, you use the spot calculator, which we give you in the course, you are going to price your subscriptions. Okay, now if you watched my webinar, you know that we do package pricing for all of our clients. Okay, we use automations in order to cut the time that you're going to spend on each one of your clients. And so if you use my methodology, if you use my pricing calculator, you are going to make $300 to $400 per client hour that you work. And my students are seeing that every day. It's funny, we had somebody today who said, I am like, she put her proposal together and she's like, this person does not have the money to pay me. This person does not have the money to hire me. And she posted today that the person accepted her proposal. And it was a large job catching up. And then it was also a monthly recurring. So she was like so excited when the client signed the contract. But like I know a lot of times our students think like the person doesn't have the money, so I can't send out this proposal. Don't make that decision for other people. Okay. Because our students are making that every single day. Okay, so love that so much. Okay, all right, so question number 2, what's the average amount made per client and is it recurring? So listen, I don't want you to trade one office job, right, or one retail job for one at home, right? And so it's really important that you understand how many hours you're going to work on your average client, how much you're going to make per average client, because not all businesses are the same. Okay. And the other thing you need to, is it going to be recurring, right? Because it's a lot harder if you have to keep going out and getting new clients because everything that you do is project-based. And so what I mean by that is, are you going to do one project for a client and then you're going to have to find another client? Or are you going to be working with the same clients over and over again? Okay, that's really important to understand. And so with Bookkeeper Training School, your average client is going to be $147 to $547 per month. And the reason that I really like that is because what I find, and I'm connected to a lot of different communities because I serve as an advisor for a lot of different communities, is that in some of these professions, some of these freelance professions, you might have 2 clients, right, that you work a lot of hours for. And so you have those 2 clients only, and that's great because it's only 2 clients. But if you lose one of those clients, you run the risk of not being able to pay your bills next month. And so having more clients that are smaller and working way fewer hours because you're charging more, if you lose a client, it's not that big of a deal. You can more easily replace that income. We're also finding with a lot of our students, especially right now, because we're at the beginning of the year, that there are going to be one-time either cleanup fees or catch-up fees. So a lot of what we're doing in bookkeeping is we're keeping businesses up to date, right, on a monthly basis. But when they first hire you, especially like right now, maybe they didn't do anything for 2021. Maybe they had somebody else clean up their books. Maybe they got QuickBooks, thinking that they were going to do it and they didn't do it. And so we're seeing we're seeing catch-up fees or cleanup fees between $1,000 and $3,000 per year. And we're actually seeing too is a lot of people are coming in saying, you know, they're finding clients that haven't done anything for years. And so they're getting these massive cleanup jobs. So typically you're going to have the one-time fee to get them all caught up, which is going to be a big fee. And then you're going to have the smaller $147 to $547 per month recurring. And the great thing with bookkeeping is that you just keep doing it forever, right? And it's one of those things that people don't change bookkeepers very often. And you just month after month after month, you're working on these clients. So you build up this nice little book of business. You determine how many hours you work and how much money you want to make, and you go out and get that number of clients. And so, and then you get these nice, you know, cleanup and catch up jobs. We also have some people that have some smaller clients that they work on quarterly. They have some clients that they just work on annually. And so you can get kind of a nice mix of income coming in. Okay. So hopefully these are helpful for you. I'm hoping that, you know, this is kind of making you think a little bit about, you know, the types of things that you'll be doing, the types of questions that you should be asking. And if you have other questions that you come up with as we're going through, please feel free to let me know. And Paula, I see your question. And I'm going to be talking about that in one of the questions that we're asking, or that is in here. Okay. So number 3, how many hours of training are included and how is the content delivered? So we've had people who bought other courses before they bought our course, and they've said, you know, sometimes, you know, they're paying, you know, almost as much as they paid for Bookkeeper Training School, and they're basically getting like an ebook, and it's their job to go through it. Some of these courses are like 10 hours of content, and that's it. So make sure that you understand how much content is included. So for Bookkeeper Training School, there's the Bookkeeper Training School core content is about 70 hours of content. That includes your QuickBooks certification exam as well. So that is in module 4 of the course. You're also going to get hundreds of hours of live call recordings. So Bookkeeper Training School has been around for almost, at this point, almost 3 years. We've revamped the entire course last summer. So you're actually getting like the 2.0 version. But we have hundreds of hours of live calls that we've done. And I'm going to talk about the calls that we provide in a few minutes. But you get access to all that content. Our course content is available in video, audio, transcript formats. You're going to get worksheets. You're going to get other tools like our SPA calculator. You're also going to get a search tool that will search all of it. So if you go through some of the content and then you come back, you know, 5 months later because you're working on a client, and you're like, I remember Kristen said something like this. We actually have a search tool that searches the transcripts of all the videos and will take you right to the exact moment that I talked about that thing. Our students absolutely love it. They think it's great because they really have this database that they can use in order to, serve their clients. And so it's awesome. Yeah, Sarah said 2.0 is awesome. Sarah's one of our students. And I love Sarah. Sarah is like such a light that she is, and she's so supportive of all the students. We do have like the greatest group in the entire world. They're so supportive of each other. So, okay, question number 4. What level is being taught? Because I think a lot of times course creators assume that you have a certain base level of knowledge. I know in the freelancing world, a lot of people assume that like you have a skill that you are going to use to freelance. And so they're bringing that assumption in with them. And so just be really, really careful that you understand the level that you need to be at in order to join the course. So for Bookkeeper Training School, we assumed you've never taken a bookkeeping course, an accounting course, a marketing course, or any other type of business course. We assume you don't have a business and you're not associated with a business. So the vast majority of our students have no business experience whatsoever. Okay. Now we do have some students who come in who might have an accounting degree, who might have taken some accounting courses, who might have, who might have started a bookkeeping business. Maybe they took somebody else's course. And we have some people who come in who have like a couple clients already. But everybody's growing together, because so everything that I mentioned here, the bookkeeping, the marketing, the setting up the business, that's all inside Bookkeeper Training School. And so we kind of say, all right, we're going to assume that everybody starts with no knowledge whatsoever, and we're going to build up all of the knowledge that you need so that you can be successful. And so that does include, how do people set up businesses? Not just for you to know this for yourself, but it's also really important that you know this because a lot of your clients aren't set up properly. I think one of the big assumptions that a lot of people make when they buy a Bookkeeper Training School is that their clients are so knowledgeable about business and they just know all the things about business, and how are they ever going to get any clients because, every business owner is so knowledgeable. And the reality is that most business owners, they're very good at what they do, but they don't know anything about the business side. They don't a lot of them are like, you know what, I'm really good with my hands. I'm going to go become a plumber. I'm going to get licensed as a plumber. And then I'm going to start this thing. And they get the business side and they're like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. And that's why we teach you all of that stuff. So, sometimes when people come in and go, hey, I went through the first 2 modules and it's all about like setting up business. When do we get to the bookkeeping? Well, the bookkeeping is in module 3 and 4. But I'll tell you that you have to have that foundation of understanding how businesses really work in order to be able to not only operate one, but to work with them. So that's why I think that that's really, really important that that's there. Okay. So number 5, again, hope that this is super helpful for you guys. When is the content available and how long do I have access to everything? So this varies widely in different courses. Okay, I've seen some courses that they pre-sell the course and then you buy it today and you're not going to get access to it until April. There are some courses that are like, well, we drip out the content, which means you get some content like every single week. And so you can't get ahead in the course, and that causes a lot of people to get behind. There are some courses that are like live and you need to be there at a certain time in order to be able to get the content. And so make sure that you understand that, and make sure you understand how long you have access to things. I've seen some courses that are thousands of dollars that you only get access for like 6 weeks. And so make sure that you understand what that looks like. So for Bookkeeper Training School, you get access to all of the Bookkeeper Training School and the Empower Bookkeeper Network content as soon as you purchase. Bookkeeper Training School, which is the core course, and if you guys are interested, let me know. I'll kind of show you behind the scenes what all you get in your members area. I can log into my members area so you can see that if you want. But you get access to all of the Bookkeeper Training School and all the Bookkeeper Training School bonuses for life, including updates at no additional cost. So like I said a few minutes ago, we just updated Bookkeeper Training School to the 2.0 version. We really streamlined things. I think we organized them a lot better, and everybody got that. Everybody got that update. No matter when you bought the course, everybody got that. Empower Bookkeeper Network, which is the support piece, and we're going to talk about the support in the next question, that you get for 6 months. Okay, and if you wish to continue with the Empower Bookkeeper Network, it's $37 a month or $197 a year. And if you pay annually, you're going to save 55%. It's like getting 6 months for free. Okay. And we just do that because it's easier for my team to, to process one payment. It's easier for us. Like we just know that you're going to be there. And so we want to reward you for that. We have a book club, which we're reading Profit First as our book club, and you'll get the recordings for all that if you join. But everybody's really loving that. So we're talking about money and money management and paying for things monthly versus annually. And so it's a really, really good discussion that we're having right now. Okay. So question number 6, what exactly does support mean? This has been amazing for me to see, like, people coming into Bookkeeper Training School who are like, I bought another course that was way more expensive than yours, and it said that they had support, and support was like a Facebook group that the creator's not even in. And so you have to ask this question when they say that you get support. Make sure that you have clarity on what support means, because for us, I think we really over deliver in the support area. So support means you're going to get an incredibly active Facebook group. And Sarah said EVN, the EVN group is gold. And she said, you do have the best group. Everyone's supportive. You'll find friends from all over, not only US, but also the UK, and you all chip in and you help each other. I'm so happy and proud to be in Bookkeeper Training School. Thank you. So you're gonna have the super active, awesome Facebook group that I am active in. You're gonna get weekly Q&A calls that you can submit questions to. Those are recorded. You're going to get weekly office hours where once you have clients, you can literally bring your clients' files to me during office hours. And if you get stuck, if there's something you don't know how to fix, you can share your screen and I will literally walk you through how to fix things. Okay, so we're going to like triage if you have issues with your client files. So those are the weekly office hours. We have monthly new and returning member calls where we kind of help you get onboarded. We help you meet other people in the group. We talk about how to be successful in the course. In fact, our next one is Monday night. And you'll get access to that and you'll get all the reminders for that if you join this weekend. But I just want to let you know that is Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do monthly marketing calls on the 3rd Monday of every month where we just like deep dive into marketing. So what's working, what's not working, different tips and tricks, and so that's going to be, those are going to be awesome calls. Those are going to be recorded. The new and returning member calls are recorded. We're not going to record the weekly office hour calls just because there's lots of sensitive client information in there. But my plan is that we're going to rotate those around. So sometimes they're going to be in the morning, sometimes they're going to be afternoon, sometimes they're going to be in the evenings. We do them every single week and they're constantly rotating for different times. So we also do, I do random working sessions. We used to do regular working sessions, but we're replacing those with the office hours just to make them more, we're always looking for feedback from our members for how we can make things more useful for them. But I do really like the working sessions. Basically, a working session is when everybody hops on a call and they set what they want to work on. And then we all mute, but we're working together on Zoom. So we're all like on a Zoom call like this. And the cool thing with that is like a lot of people are like, well, how is that useful? There's just something about like knowing that there are other people working on stuff that makes you really productive. And I don't know how it works, but it really does. It's really awesome. And so if you're on our text list, sometimes I text out members like, hey, I've got stuff I got to do today. Hop on a call with me and we'll have a working session. We have a text list with call reminders, and sometimes I send out updates for things, or I send out inspirational stuff through the text list, and then potential client referrals for our certified members. So I have people that approach me all the time and say, hey, I need a bookkeeper. Can you help me find one? And so we have a form that they can fill out. We give that to our certified bookkeepers and they can apply to work with those businesses. Okay. So that's what support means to us. And that's that piece that's $37 a month or $197 a year after your 6-month expires. Okay. I think we really over deliver in the support department. Sometimes my team thinks I'm a little nuts. But I'm really committed to making sure that my bookkeepers are successful. And that if they say they went through Bookkeeper Training School, they've got that community, they've got that knowledge behind them. That's just really, really important to me. Okay, number 7, really important, and this didn't even occur to me until I started talking to our students. Who is teaching the content and who is providing the support? In a lot of courses, you have somebody like me that comes there and does, does these info sessions, does the webinars, does all the things. And then they are not the person who teaches the course, or they are not the person that provides the support. And so make sure that you understand like who is doing that, okay? Because I think that that's incredibly important. Okay. So how does it work for us? So we have an amazing community who's incredibly knowledgeable, and sometimes they get to questions in the group before I do. But I always make sure that you have a full and complete answer to all of your questions. So sometimes people in the group, I will not answer their question. I will literally say like, "Oh, this student that answered your question, like this is a really good answer." And so I encourage that, because you retain 90% of what you teach other people, and real mastery is about teaching others, right? And so sometimes I will give, my students the time to go in and be those mentors and answer those questions. But then I always go back through and make sure everybody gets answers to all their questions. I teach 98% of the content. And as I said, I taught for 13 years in higher ed. I was on the board of education in my town. I have a master's degree. I have a CPA. I am QuickBooks certified, and I've been working with QuickBooks for over 20 years. I also built 2 businesses from scratch. So I teach 98% of the content. Some of the tech content is taught by my husband, Jeff, and he's the CIO of our company. He also hosts the tech talk calls. So he will help you with things like if your email's not working, if if you're having trouble with Excel or with Google Sheets or some other system that you're using, Jeff is awesome with stuff like that. And so he does the tech talk calls, which we record, and then all the other calls are hosted by me. Okay. So I hope that, like if you are annoyed by, like I talk with my hands a lot, just so you know, if there's any bit of my presentation style that annoys you, don't buy my course, because you're going to see it a lot. I teach all the content. I do all the live calls. Like it's me. Okay. And so that's going to be really important. Okay. So, all right. So before I move on, there's a couple questions that I want to answer for you guys. So Paula says, a person, a housewife who doesn't work a long time, could it be possible to become a bookkeeper from zero? So yes, we have people in our course that started from zero. They're in that point that I talked about a couple slides ago, where they had no knowledge whatsoever. The content is 70 hours. So you can sit down and say, okay, I've got 10 hours a week to work on this. So it's going to take me about 2 months to finish the course. Okay. One of the reasons that we have the office hour calls, and I'll tell you, when you join Bookkeeper Training School, if you go through the Facebook group, you're going to see that there are threads I have with people that are, 40 comments, because we're going back and forth trying to solve an issue. And one of the reasons that I decided to do the office hours was so that we could do that face-to-face instead, and save us both a little bit of time. But I'm a huge believer that anybody can do this. If you can operate a computer, if you can sign into online banking, if you've purchased something online, you can do this. Because really what bookkeeping is, and you're going to hear people go, no, you need vast amounts of experience, you need vast amounts of this to be a bookkeeper. Those are bookkeepers that are coming from a scarcity mindset, that they're sitting there going, there's not enough work, we're all fighting, it's all competition. There is so much work out there. We have a shortage of bookkeepers right now. 25% of the people who work with small businesses are retiring in the next 5 years. Like, we have a problem. Okay. We need more bookkeepers. We need more people in this space. And there are people out there that have a scarcity mindset to say, no, there's not enough work. We're all doomed, and they're trying to protect what they have. And so they're trying to scare off new bookkeepers. I will tell you that this is like a computer job. Okay. That if you can if you can click buttons on your computer, if you can log into things online, if you know how to log into online banking, you can do this. And we are going to support you every step of the way through that. And we have a ton of people who've come into the course who had no experience whatsoever, who are now doing this, who have clients, and who are making good money doing it. So absolutely, you can do this. Do you have any students that do this for US clients but live in the developing world? I'm moving to Ghana next year and will have internet, but notice my bank's firewalls don't always let me on the bank websites when I'm in Ghana, security blocks. Do you have any insight into the possibility of this and if this could be an issue? So it could be an issue. I'm going to be honest with you. So if you cannot log into bank websites, now you're not always, when you're using QuickBooks, you're not logging into them directly necessarily, you're logging into them through QuickBooks. However, if you're going to access bank statements for your clients, then that could be an issue. So the other thing we found too is that sometimes if you are outside the US, QuickBooks will not give you the same version of QuickBooks that your clients have. And so what you may need to do is either use a VPN, right? And we use NordVPN as our VPN. A VPN is a virtual private network. You can do some research on that. But that could be an option as well. What I would probably do if it's something that you're interested in doing is I would actually call QuickBooks. Okay. So, and I would let them know like, hey, look, I am going to be moving to Ghana next year. I want to be a bookkeeper. I want to start my own bookkeeping business. Can I do that? Right. If I move. And just and ask them. They have a great support team. If you want, you can if you reach out to the page, I'll get you the phone number for QuickBooks Pro Advisor. And you can contact their sales and ask them. Okay. But yeah, Audra, absolutely. I would definitely want to do some more research in that before I did that. Because the reason the banks do that is because typically, if you're a US based client, you don't have people outside the US plugging in for you. And so it's a security thing, right? And that's why they're doing it. So I don't fault the banks for doing that, but I do know that it also makes it a little bit more difficult for some people to be able to do this. But they're just trying to protect, right? They're just trying to protect their clients. So sometimes a way around that is if your clients will actually give you what's called read-only access to their accounts. And if they tell the bank that this is going to come from outside the US, that also helps that sometimes as well. Okay, and some of the bigger banks can do that. Okay, so I think I got all the questions so far, I think. Okay, and if you guys have more, let me know. Okay, so this is what we're offering tonight. So normally Bookkeeper Training School is $997 or 6 payments of $197. What we're offering for the next 72 hours or until Sunday night, January 30th at 11:59 p.m. We're basically offering a $200 discount. So you can get Bookkeeper Training School for 6 payments of $167 or a single payment of $797. Okay. So you're saving $200 off. Anita, who is on my team, she's our customer support person, is putting the link into Facebook and into Zoom. So you guys have it. Okay. It's smallbizlife.com/infobuy. Okay. That will go through everything that we're doing, which actually I will go, let me stop sharing my slides right now. Sorry, I have all the things. I have so many screens up, it's crazy. Okay, so first I want to know, for those of you that are here, and hold on, I'm minimizing stuff as I'm moving stuff around. Let me know if you want me to take you behind the scenes so that you guys can see Bookkeeper Training School and what that looks like. Right now I'm going to go to smallbizlife.com/infobuy just so you can see what the page looks like. Okay, so let me go through, let me share my screen again. I said, sorry, I've got all the screens. Okay. All right, so let me bring my chat up as well, so I've got that. Okay, So this is the page that you're going to go to. It's going to list, if you go all the way down to the bottom, if you just click on, I just want to know how much it costs, you can go all the way down to the bottom. It's going to list everything that you're going to get. So you're going to get the 7-module course. Okay, the 7-module course includes bookkeeper training, business training. It includes, in fact, we talk about all the modules up in here. It includes QuickBooks training, the QuickBooks certification stuff. It's going to cover setting up your marketing apparatus, actually marketing. It's going to cover onboarding your clients. Let's see, where is that? Sorry, I'm looking for all the things. It covers the onboarding. It covers everything that you need to know from start to finish. Okay. Oh, here's all the bonuses. There we go. Okay. Oh, there we go. Here's all the modules. Okay. So you're going to get the 3 Ps, which are going to get you thinking about your ideal client, how to sell bookkeeping, who you're going to sell it to. Understanding business is all of the business setup, the types of businesses, how they're all different from each other. Okay, so that way you have that knowledge. There's also some really cool printouts in there that you can keep, put up on your wall so that when you're working with clients, you'll have that in front of you. We have like a nice little cheat sheet that's got the differences between the two, which is pretty cool. Working with QuickBooks Online is going to get you all set up. Okay. Then the QuickBooks certification, which is going to take you through more QuickBooks training. It's going to take you through my masterclass on how to do well on the exam. Then we're going to help you set up your marketing apparatus. So you're going to build your Facebook page. You're going to set up your email. We're going to talk about how to come up with content so you get noticed. Then we're talking about getting clients. So how to find clients, how to approach them. There's also a bonus on mastering the discovery call, where I literally give you a script on what to say, and the questionnaire that you should send people before the call. Okay. And then module 7, we're giving you templates for proposals, examples for contracts, how to onboard, how is a cleanup different from a setup and a catch up, and what to look for in each of those different engagements. And so that's all there as well. So that's the 7 modules you're going to get. Plus you're going to get a whole bunch of bonuses. So you're going to get the pre-launch marketing plan, which is my marketing plan that you start using right now. Like if you sign up, you're going to do your first post tomorrow. Okay. And so that's going to help you start your marketing plan and build up your consistency online. The business startup checklist, you're going to use that over and over again, not only for your business, but also for your clients as well. You're going to get the SPA pricing calculator, which, like, I have had people approach me and say, can I just buy your pricing calculator? We do not sell that outside of Bookkeeper Training School. It's like one of my signature things on how I price my course, how I price all my clients. And it's funny because, like, the thing I love about it is it generates numbers that are kind of scary, for the bookkeepers. Like, they look at that and they're like, I cannot charge that much. And then they send the proposal to the client. The client is like, yes, absolutely. Awesome. Where do I sign? And so, so it's really cool because, if they didn't have that, they would really be underpricing their services. And so that's why we thought it was really important to do that. Then we've got the Understanding Payroll module, which teaches you all about payroll and then how to partner with another company so that they assume all the liability while you still get paid. There are client onboarding worksheets and Trello boards. There is the All About Entries bonus, where I teach you about journal entries. They're not necessary, but they make your life so much easier. The Mastering the Discovery Call bonus, which I talked about, and then the brand new loop marketing bonus, which helps you take the sting out of sales, and helps you close the loops in your marketing process. And I think it makes it a lot more fun. You're also going to get 6 months of the Empower Bookkeeper Network, and we talked about all the calls that are included with that as well. If you go to the page, there's a video from Emily, who loves the Empower Bookkeeper Network. She thinks it's super useful. There's a whole bunch of testimonials from our clients. We've got another video from Sarah here. There's just tons and tons of stuff on this page. Listen, like I said, we've been around for almost 3 years. If we were a scam, Facebook would have taken us down already, right? They wouldn't allow us to have a page for this long. Okay, so I've gotten a request to do a drive-by of the course. So let me do that real quick. So let me stop sharing so I can log into my course area. Let's see. And if you guys have questions, please feel free to post them. But yeah, I love showing you guys kind of behind the scenes of the course. So so let me just actually, I'm just going to show you this right now. Let's see, share the screen. And okay. All right, so when you buy Bookkeeper Training School, you go to smallbizlife.com/login. You're going to see our Bookkeeper Training School logo, and you're going to log in here. And let's see. Hopefully I typed that in right. There we go. Okay. And that's a tool that's called 1Password. And we're actually going to be we're actually doing some training on that very soon, because it's a great way to be able to get passwords from your clients without getting the passwords and having the liability for having the passwords. So that is coming very soon. Okay. So when you log into Bookkeeper Training School, you are going to see the Bookkeeper Training School 2.0. Let me move this out of the way. The Bookkeeper Training School podcast. So what we've actually done is we've taken all of Bookkeeper Training School and we turned it into audio. And so there's a private member podcast that you can actually sync with iTunes or sync with Google Podcasts. And so if you want to take Bookkeeper Training School on the road with you, you can do that. Okay. And you can actually have it in your podcast player. We also do the same thing with the Empower Bookkeeper Network replays. There is a podcast for that also. So every time we do a live call that's been recorded, it gets uploaded into an audio only format. That is included with your membership as well. So you're gonna get Bookkeeper Training School, you're gonna get the podcast, you're gonna get all the bonuses. We put all of the bonuses I talked about in this module right here. You're gonna get the Empower Bookkeeper Network replays. And then you're also gonna get on page 2, which a lot of people don't realize this, they're going to get the Moneysmart Mama Challenge. Also, when you buy Bookkeeper Training School, just so you know, we do have an affiliate program for our students that if you know anybody else that wants to join Bookkeeper Training School, you get a nice bonus for referring other people. And so you also get access to that as a student as well. But the Moneysmart Mama Challenge is a challenge that we did last summer to help you learn how to master your personal finances. We actually have a lot of people that are going through it right now. As we're doing our first book club, which I said before, we're reading Profit First together. And don't worry, so you get all the recordings for the book club as well. And I didn't mention that in the support because it's something that we just started doing, but people are really loving the book club. And I'm loving the book club. It's a lot of fun. So, all right. So when you click in here, all of your main content is in Bookkeeper Training School. So I'm going to click in here. Here are all of your modules. Notice everything is laid out nice and cleanly. We have accountability groups as well that you can join. You can sign up for an accountability group. So we have a whole orientation section in here. So when you join, we're going to bring you through, the course, join the Facebook page, how to get the most out of everything, tips for moving forward, how to get the podcasts to work, how to sign up for an accountability group. We have a recommended reading list. There's a glossary in here of terms that we use on a frequent basis. And then there's a 1-question assessment just to make sure you're paying attention. Okay. And then in module 1, and I just want to show you guys, I want to pick up. So these first couple items here after the orientation in module 1, these are actually links to bonuses. So if you think these bonuses would be helpful for you, there's actually links to them to make it easier for you to get to them. I love the time mastery one. If you are having trouble with getting things done like time-wise, do the time mastery method bonus. Because I just think it is gold, and all the people who have done it think it is absolutely gold. So if you look in here, I'm just going to pick one of these at random. Okay. So in each of these, if you see the player, there's a video here. This video is 14 minutes long. You also get a PDF of the slides. So there's a download section. It's also super mobile friendly as well, but the downloads are underneath all the comments, just so you know. Okay. We also at the bottom of everything, we have, if you have any questions, here's how to ask for help. And then there you can leave comments as well. So I think that is super, super cool that we have people that are leaving comments at the bottom of all the videos. And then you can click through to the next video here. Okay. And so you'll notice like in this one, so this is about people. Your ideal client worksheet is here. How to find your people is here. We also give it to you in Word and a PDF. But this is really, you know, we try to give you a lot of worksheets. We try to give you, whenever we want you to do work, we try to give you a place to do that work, so that you get it done. Okay. And so basically what you do is you just, you know, start with the first module and work your way through. There is an assessment at the end of every module. And then if you finish all 7 assessments, you actually get a certificate of completion from us, which is like an NFT certificate. It belongs to you. It has like a little number on it. Not that we'd ever want to, but we could actually revoke it if we wanted to. Like, it's really official. And then when you finish the course as well, you're also going to do your QuickBooks certification as well. Okay. So this is all the content that you're going to get for the main Bookkeeper Training School course. And then you're also going to get, let's see, let me just go back here. Okay. And if you ever have to bump back out, you can just go back to library and that will get you to the course content. Okay. And so you see, we've got the podcast here, you got all the bonuses here. So here's all the bonuses that we talked about. And there's actually 2 pages of them. Okay. You get all the bonuses. And trust me, I'm going to say this again, because, you know, people always kind of, they get lost in this part. Start as soon as you purchase. Okay. If you purchase my course, start the pre-launch marketing plan. Because the first post in the pre-launch marketing plan is literally, oh my God, I'm starting this course. I'm going to become a bookkeeper. I'm so excited. And it's just to get people to start thinking about you as a bookkeeper. Okay. So super, super important. Okay. So let me see. So let me go back over here. Okay. All right. Awesome. So let me see. I'm just going to see if there's any other questions that people had. If you guys have any other questions, please post them now. Let me go find my Facebook over here. Okay, awesome. All right. So again, we've got until Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, if you're interested in purchasing Bookkeeper Training School, go to smallbizlife.com/infobuy. It is it's in Zoom in the chat. It is also on the Facebook page in the comments there. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. We'll be checking the Facebook post as well. If you're on our email list and you're in the Zoom, you can reply to any of our emails, and Anita and I will be happy to make sure that you get an answer to any questions that you have. And so, yeah, so if you currently have an offer in front of you, you can use this page to extend the offer. Okay, so if you watched our webinar before and the offer expired, this is a special offer that we're offering right now. I know that there are a lot of people that they wanted to buy in December, and then the COVID numbers got crazy and life happened. And so we wanted to give just a little bit of extra time for people to kind of take a look at it again. How long do we have access to the course? So you have access to Bookkeeper Training School for life. Okay. The Empower Bookkeeper Network, which is the support piece, you have for 6 months. And then if you want to renew it, it's $37 a month or $197 a year, which means if you pay annually, you get basically 6 months for free. You save 55% off the full price. Okay. And also too, when you buy Bookkeeper Training School, any updates that we do to Bookkeeper Training School, like we just revamped it last summer, you get those updates for free. So we just roll those out to anybody who owns the course. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful. Okay. All right, I think I answered all your questions. I showed you guys everything I want to show you guys tonight. So again, if you guys have any questions, please let us know. We will be, checking, we'll be checking all weekend. And so, again, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you will consider those things as you are purchasing courses. And so I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. And if you're watching the replay, thanks again so much. And I'll talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys. Good night.